Hey guys, welcome back to another episode with Mercenary Assassins Gaming. So, with the current state that the game is in, with the algorithm-based matchmaking and how ridiculous it is, I've been losing like so many gunfights, and kill cams have shown that I really wasn't even being hit like that, but because of the expanded hitbox registry that this game has, when they decide that they want you to lose. It's been causing way too much frustration for me, and I've kind of slowed down with this and been playing other games a lot more, which I guess is good because I wouldn't know the joy that these other games have had I not played them a lot more. I mean, I've had them and had those titles, but like a lot of us, Call of Duty is like just a really awesome game. We grew up with it. It's like America's shooter, honestly. You know what I mean? That and Battlefield, really, those two are always the go-to shooters for us as kids, most of us in this country, right? America, around the world, honestly. That being said, the way that this game is and how it's adopted these malicious practices for what they believe engages players, which actually chases them away, as the stats show. We've reviewed this countless times through many channels, myself included. The game just is not in a state right now where it's really playable, let alone enjoyable, right? And this has led me to go back into some of the older titles. I still had Modern Warfare 3 when it first came out, the 2023 edition, the remake. They remake fucking everything nowadays. This is when I started to make a return to gaming in 2023. Man, we really don't know how good we had it, man. I mean, just with this title alone, I think Call of Duty really died with that one, like Season 3. And anything else after that is just going to be like a shadow of what Call of Duty has been. Sledgehammer Games has really stepped it up and, carried the torch from what Infinity Ward has left us. Because although a lot of people dislike Infinity Ward for some reason, Infinity Ward has left us the great gems such as Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2. And those alone, are like, they can be able to look over anything bad that they could produce in their catalog just because of the epic classic that they produced. I don't understand. People always have aimed for Infinity Ward for some reason. They've always had the best graphics, the most polished mechanics, the greatest maps. I mean, man, there's so many good maps that they've had, which I don't understand why they didn't bring that back. But, as time goes on, other people start to get on into these fads. And then as social media has evolved, now these idiots called streamers have such great influence that unfortunately they get these companies to make games tailored more towards them, the streamer, rather than the game for the player base as a whole. And this is the phenomenon we have, not even just with Call of Duty, but with all of gaming in general, as we spoke about this many times on the channel. And with that statement, I further and say this, with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2023, right, the remake, man, I know that a lot of people hate mouse and keyboard, but an individual like myself plays on mouse and keyboard, and, it's like, shouldn't a good game be good for any input, any player of any type? Like, this should be good for Steam Deck, Switch, Nintendo, whatever the fuck. Like, a good game should be made so well that it can perform on any input. And it's, like I said, with these streamers, they hate mouse and keyboard guys like myself because, we actually have to fucking aim, and there's no aim assist. And, they whisper into these devs' ears to basically, fuck the game over for guys like us. And it just makes no sense. People talk about Steam losing numbers. Have you ever wondered why shit like that was, for Call of Duty? You've made the game unplayable for us. I mean, I'm looking at the mechanics of how Modern Warfare 3 worked, right? Not even, a year and a half ago in the game sense, right? And bro, like, the mechanics for Modern Warfare 3, like, man, like, it feels like there's an aim assist with mouse and keyboard. There's like a stickiness when you shoot. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just something that's felt. you're shooting with mouse and keyboard, things feel fluid. The graphics feel crisp. There's not really like a delay. There's not issues with textures loading and rendering. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like everyone knows Modern Warfare 3 was basically kind of like an expansion pack for MWIII, right? And even as rushed as this was, this feels like a way more complete and refined game than Black Ops 6 will ever be. And you who played know this. You know this. If you've played the two, you can feel the difference, and it's night and day. No one can fucking tell me that this game had 4 years of development time when a fucking expansion pack feels better than this. I mean, like, dude, the movement feels great. We don't fucking need army movement. If you recall the earlier videos, I actually like army movement. It's cool. It's great. It feels good. I feel it helps with combat, especially with centering. There's like less stiffness when strafing and turning side to side, sure. But it's fucking unnecessary. It's not something that needs to be focused on. It really doesn't do anything to improve the quality of life for the game, honestly. One more mechanic to bring in furtherance of the eventual and inevitable Fortnitification of this fucking game. So there's the stat, right? If we're comparing, let's say, the movement. The movement's cool, but it's absolutely unnecessary. And let's look at the equipment. Like, a fucking camera. Wow. I mean, do I even need to go further? What's the point of that? Is there a tactical camera for? It's just that's just so dumb. Like, all of the equipment in Modern Warfare 3 was useful, it was viable, and it was conducive to what the fuck we're doing, and that's killing shit, okay? Smoke grenades actually work and they block out vision. Like, the smoke grenades now are like little dinky small clouds that you can see through, and it's like, what the fuck is that? Like a smoke grenade in every installment prior to Black Ops 6 actually obscured the enemy's vision and hid you from being attacked, which is its point. And of course, I'm definitely going to introduce this because this isn't about me, right? This is for everybody in the community, right? You have channels that are like literally dedicated towards melee playstyle, right? You know what I mean? And so like now these guys have basically lost their ability to make content, because they would do stuff with ride shields, Cali sticks, knives, whatever. I love melee style, but I'm very adaptive. I'm fluid to the situation at hand. So this one personally hurt me the way that we go from Modern Warfare 3, and we saw what they were doing by reducing the nerf. Like, I think it was Season 2, Season 3, by like reducing the lunge range, which was like, it was just fucking nonsense. Because it's all, even with the lunge range, it's still not a guarantee that you're going to kill the individual, especially when they're beaming you with fucking SMGs, which do more damage than ARs in this game, which makes no fucking sense to me, which we've spoke about several times. And then, of course, they also reduce the melee swing speed. So not only are you like, moving in fucking reverse trying to attack somebody, but you can barely even hit them or get within fighting range. So, it's like they just have this thing since last game, unfortunately, where they tried to destroy the melee style, and it peaked like Season 5 in Modern Warfare 3 for the inevitable collapse and destruction of it altogether in Black Ops 6, where now every weapon is basically garbage in terms of melee playstyle. You can't even fucking use any of the weapons because, one, they have no range, they have no lock-on. And even when you do, I've noticed that sometimes, like the hitbox registry, when you do that, it'll kind of like brush your character model off to the side to where you miss. Whereas like earlier in the seasons, it was like, the box was expanded when you had a melee weapon and you would actually be able to hit even if you were kind of like in a lateral movement. I can't really explain it. It's something that you would have to feel, but when you have a melee weapon now, like your hitbox registry is so fucking slim that you can barely hit them, and then you do no damage and you swing slow on top of that. So it's like they just completely have taken out the whole fucking, style whatsoever. And it's weird to me because Call of Duty has always had literally one shot melee at any range. You know what I mean? You look at Black Ops 4 and you had the USP with the tack knife combo, very popular for, close quarters fighting. And, it was a one-shot kill, one-hit move, right? End of discussion. So for these new school kids who don't like, being killed by melee, which is a viable option, which real-life commandos have done before in close quarters fighting, you can't argue that that it's unfair, that it shouldn't be a part of the game, because it's always has been a part of the fucking game, even in multiplayer, even in early renditions of Warzone, right? Again, it's these streamer assholes and these bitches who fucking complain about, play styles that they don't like because they lose to it. And because of their social clout status, everyone else has to suffer. We're not allowed to play with ride shields anymore, even though there's like so many ways to get around that. You can thermite, you can stick, your movement is already slow, which it's just unfair for everybody else who plays this stuff, right? And then even other CQC guys, close quarter fighters, like dudes who like to run shotguns, you know what I'm saying? They've nerfed them to shit in Black Ops 6 too. They were actually useful in Modern Warfare, whether it was in multiplayer or in Warzone. And I just miss that diversity, man. I miss getting ran up on around the corner and, getting, wrecked by dudes with the shotgun, with the AA-12, And then in return, I would miss, spawning back and, blowing them up with a rocket launcher. I miss just having fun with the game. The game is not fun. Horrible maps. Not that maps make a big deal, because mechanics always trump maps. And I'll explain this. There's many games where the maps are really the best, and some of them don't even have like how you would consider traditional 3 lanes. Some maps were, like how you would say just all over the place. They had like, the worst type of flow. But because the game has great mechanics, right, it makes a bad map enjoyable. There's certain 1-lane maps that I've played in Halo where it's literally a choke. It's one way in, it's one way out. But because the game itself is actually fucking fun, that trumps the fact that there are some bad or unfavorable maps in circulation. So I don't agree with a lot of these guys where they say that maps are the end-all be-all in the game. Sure, they do help, but we've had plenty bad maps all throughout the Call of Duty series, and it's still been a fun game because the game is fun. The mechanics are enjoyable, right? Okay, so there's that with the maps, and then other things like just with the forced playstyle. Who wants to just run around with the same 3 submachine guns, all day long, and the 1 meta rifle, the Cypher? Like, that's all people can actually play to be competitive in these games. Everything else has such weak damage output. I mean, it's weird, dude. Like, for fuck's sakes, like, do these people actually even look at some of the values and the wordings for what they're using? Like, this new patch, man, that they're going to release is going to be absolute fucking garbage. They're going to nerf the GS45 pistol to 25 damage, right? And then they're going to raise the damage of a 22 caliber pistol to 35. Like, right, yeah, like what the fuck, bro? Game makes no sense. You can tell this shit was literally made by a bunch of dyke bitches who fucking, you know what I'm saying, don't know shit about gaming. They don't know shit about fucking, guns, weapon balancing and leveling. They just want to feel cool, honestly, because who the fuck else, designs a gun game like this and don't even have the proper values adjusted to the fucking weapons that we're utilizing? And literally was, because you can actually look at the new Return of Verdansk trailer and all you see is a bunch of yellow and purple, the cotton candy blue and the magenta teal fucking hair-colored fucking gay bitches working on the fucking game, man. It's like, man, dude, this is their big get back at men for everything wrong that we ever fucking did to them. It's weird, bro. And then the cuck fucking moron weirdo fucks you know what I'm saying, advocate for this shit. And you know, but this is what's happening to all of media all around, dude. Gaming, honestly, in general, is just dying, bro. There's no real good titles coming out this year. You know, they killed off this one, man. You know, they remake every fucking movie that we ever see nowadays, and it's way worse than the original. Like, I don't know why they just can't let shit die. And, you know, dumb consumers keep buying this shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hollywood literally is going broke. How many strikes have they had this year, you know? Let alone last year. Just in a fuck spot for anything media related nowadays, man. Honestly, from what I'm seeing. So yeah, there unfortunately was that, you know, different play styles that they allowed, you know, allowing for different types of people to play the game. You could be a sniper, and they actually worked. Funny, the truth does lie, Activision. You are right about that, because you definitely told us that from the knees up, sniper was going to be one hit kill. Did you not? Play with melee shields, you could do run and gun, and it was just as effective as playing mid-range with the ARs and locking lanes down. You know, everything was played. You could be an explosives guy, you can have heavy ordnance, you could shoot rockets and they actually killed shit and worked. You know what I mean? Shotguns, close quarters. I mean, every gun worked. In Black Ops, nothing works other than the SMGs, of course the car rifle from last game, and then, you know, 2 ARs. Like, I mean, like, that's it. What was the point of even putting half this shit in there, which was already recycled garbage anyways? We already discussed this. We already showed this in another video. I mean, fuck, bro. Like, these people literally are the kings of recycling content. The new Cypher is literally the TR Geist. Did anyone catch that one? No one's talking about that, right? Yeah. That said, man, I'm just over this game. I'm playing and enjoying other titles. They've been a lot more fun. When I lose gunfights, I know my aim was off. You know, I know that there wasn't any of this hitbox registry, ABMM bullshit with this patent crap that they got going on to rig your game experience. Losing gunfights, and fuck that, man. Why would I want to play a game like that? You know, what's the point if my shit is basically lottery based? That's so fucking retarded. And of course, multiplayer. Like, I didn't buy Black Ops 6 multiplayer because I already knew the way how rigged multiplayer was in Modern Warfare 3, which I will say. And even though it was enjoyable, like the way that the spawns worked, how they would fucking literally position you with your back in front of a fucking opponent already shooting, I was like, bro. And then I heard reports of the SPMM, the ABMM getting cranked up. I'm like, why am I going to torture myself? What's the point? Exactly why I play Warzone. I actually, there's more chance of survival in Warzone than there is in multiplayer, because all multiplayer has for you is to just basically tank your fucking kill-death ratio. Unless you're whitelisted, you will never get out of the bracket that they want to have you in. And this is a fact, because just the spawn system alone is going to fuck you over. I mean, really, that's not enjoyable. Plus, I don't want to camo grind, that ridiculous camo grind, again for a whole year. And then, you know, let alone that none of the guns are good. For fuck's sake, man, look at the AI slot calling cards, and look at what Sledgehammer Games gave us in Modern Warfare 3. You know what I mean? This was awesome, man. Look at the art that they're using. It's so fucking cool, dude. I'm not even gonna lie. You know, I love the calling cards in Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3. But Black Ops 6, like, they are all just trash. Like, this game is not even visually appealing. Then, of course, let's talk about the kill streaks, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, this is self-explanatory. Like, they just get worse every fucking year, especially for multiplayer. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so bad, bro. This is so fucking horrible. Like, this is the Call of Duty experience. If you were a guy who went to play Call of Duty and you worried about the objective, cool. You know, you're part of like a little special group of folks, man, that were just kept to the side. But everybody went in there for the idea of wanting to get a nuke or to rip a map apart with the chopper gunner, bro. I'm sorry, but that was where the fun was at, multiplayer. That is what made it enticing to want to keep playing over and over and over. Because after a certain while, you know, especially these later titles, the shit's just whack. Like, how many times do you do that before you know, achieve anything? You know, you had big team deathmatch, regular deathmatch, the ground war. That was always fun. You know what I mean? And domination. You know, search and destroy and some of those other modes. Well, those are niche modes. People liked it. You know, I never really cared for it. You know, because I wanted the action. I wanted to call in the AC-130, and I wanted to wipe the map up. I wanted to be merciless. what a good, I'd say strong 75% of the player base comes to play multiplayer for. That's what keeps you coming back. No one is playing that shit trying to fucking win. Because first off, the matches end too fast in fucking team deathmatch. They always ended quickly. You know, it was only like 100 ticket count, 125 ticket count. You know, it's not much. You know, deathmatch, you just going for kills. It's kind of like, all right, you know, you don't really have much time. Like 5-minute matches, bro. That's why domination was where it was at, because, you know, everyone really wanted to go there so they can, you know, keep spending time to just, you know, get kills and get kill streaks. And, you know, that in itself opened up doors for you to capture the points. You know, being a lot of places was, you know, I guess like how you would say the lockdown position. Could be most times you were good, but, you know, you also watch out for flanks too, because then you could end up being spawn trapped in B from both sides. So it always depended on game to game basis. You know what I mean? I felt personally never really mattered. If you had a lot of kills and you had the kill streaks, you can help assist your team that way, right? Point still stands. Like, you know, that the kill streaks are gone. They're horrible. They're too hard to get now from the average player. So it's just made it not fun anymore. They've made the game too gun-centric, and that's not what this game has always been about historically. It's always been about a blend of everything within a battlefield theater, right? Explosives, grenades, you know, napalm strikes, shotguns, knives, anything dealing with modern combat is what Modern Warfare dealt with. Now they're making this some type of, they're trying to make it like some really stupid ass fucking run and gun only style of gameplay for it to be, you know, viable. It's just not fun, man. People don't want to do that shit all the time and, you know, play like they're fucking cracked out, bro. Some people want to play a slower pace of game. This is their downfall. This is what they get. Looking in retrospect, they want to go ahead and appease to just these asshole streamers, and the main player base is falling off for it. You know, and these streamers themselves are never even happy because they're complaining about shit left fucking right up and down, you know, anytime something happens to them. So we're just going to be forced to play a game that a select handful of people like. Just make a fucking game for them to play then if that's the case, since you want to suck these fucking weird ass dudes' dicks all day. Like, for real, bro. And of course, you know, just in another, you know, trip down memory lane, man, you know, content drops, dude. You know, the content drops were actually fucking awesome for Modern Warfare 3. I'm not gonna lie. Stand when they nerf shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, they should, honestly, their issue was they tried too much to balance the weapons instead of just letting all the weapons just be great how they were. You know, they started to introduce this meta bullshit, which is what was slowly starting to kill Modern Warfare 3. The content drops, man, I mean, like, dude, it's like when they gave you stuff in the store that was for free, it was more than just a fucking 2 XP token every day. You know what I mean? And like, you know, it was actually like some pretty decently cool calling cards for, you know, all the seasonal events, like, you know, St. Patrick's Day, Black History Month, Pride Month. You know what I mean? It was pretty fucking cool, man. You know, they gave you know, people in the LGBT community their own actually pretty cool, unique skin. You know what I'm saying? What have they done? What have they done lately for you know, the people in the Pride community? They haven't given them any cool content drops. They haven't done it even for St. Patrick's Day. Nothing for African Americans. You know, like all of the shit looks fucking whack nowadays, and it's not thoughtful. It's just AI sloppily generated. You know, like Sledgehammer Games took their time with their content drops, and it was pretty cool for the free stuff they gave. It actually gave you an incentive to want to try to buy some shit in the shop. And I've noticed that the bundles were a little cheaper too. They keep trying to force these bundles on people, not trying to pay $30 for a fucking skin every other day, you know, let alone for skins that aren't even fucking cool. You guys would generate a lot more sales, and I'm speaking to you, Activision. Had you just come down on the price and, you know, you dropped them about $5 to $7 comparable what they were, you know, for most DLC packs back in the day. You know, because they're only just skins anyways, skins and tracers. That's nothing to make in your little AI. It probably takes a developer 30 minutes to make a pack. Oh, you know, you're not even using real artists. You're not even using real art, and then you're trying to fucking like overprice the shit, man. You know, shit like that gets wary to a customer. No one wants to fucking feel like they're a customer. They want to feel like they're a part of something when they purchase things, right? Experiences alone is why a customer comes and visits a shop sometimes because of how they feel. And Activision doesn't make us feel welcome, which is why a lot of people like myself have been playing other games. As we don't know how good we had it, man. We really had it. We were really we actually were moving forward with the last title, and we have just Call of Duty's done, man. It's so fucking done. I feel that Modern Warfare 3 for both multiplayer and the Warzone experience would have been ultimate had they just not started fucking with the melee, right? And had they reduced the health value down a little bit, right? Had it been like a little bit more to Black Ops 6 values in terms of the health, I would say, maybe like in between of, 250 to 150 health, that would have been like the ultimate sweet spot. That's it. That alone right there would have made, I feel, in my opinion, MWIII immortalized because, it actually was a pretty good game, despite what a lot of people think. It's just that they were doing way too much bullshit behind the scenes between switching the metas out every other week. They shouldn't have charged full price for it too. That should have been like at least $35, half the price. I don't think that would have been fair. That's not a full price game for sure, because it did have a lot of recycled content. Reduce the health values and then just let the playstyles be playstyles, man. I mean, they were awesome. They were fucking awesome. That's simple to make a Call of Duty title work. I mean, it really is that simple. Yeah, guys, that's gonna be about it, man, for this little rant. I'm just taking a walk down memory lane, from last title, just looking at some different things to compare. It's truly a shame. It's frustrating. It's very upsetting. How we go from that to this. I hate the new Warzone integration. It's absolutely fucking horrible. The guns feel like shit. They've killed mouse and keyboard playstyle altogether. They are literally just making this game for a particular type of people, and that's not how you make a game. You have a good game is able to be played on any platform for any person for any playstyle. It's not just for a specific group of people. And that'll be it for my little rant, man. I'm going to go ahead and start to make some more of these videos. I'm going to speak about next this Verdant shit and how they already killed the series before. They already killed the new season before it came out. How they literally made no fucking adjustments to any of the weapon balancing, bringing back any of the actual Warzone 1 mechanics, and just reduced movement, which people seem to be completely oblivious to. I'm going to touch about that very shortly, so stay tuned. Yeah.